impose free speech, then I think creativity will start to halt itself a little bit of scared of reaction. Now
Yeah.
that doesn't go to say that if you say anything, I'm going to like it,
Mm.
but I still think everyone has the right to express themselves as they please, and then it's my decision if I think you're a knob or not.
Absolutely, and people have an opportunity to disengage. You know, this is the thing about the world at the moment is people think that things are being forced on them, and it's a case of you are able to disengage. You are able to turn away from your TV, turn your computer off, put your phone down, disengage from it. You don't have to interact with it. You know, that being said, I'm a very, you know, I'm a big advocate um of people being able to say, you know, what they want to say, but at the same time, people have to understand that there are consequences for the things you say. So if you are going to go on the internet and you are going to be a far right Nazi, you have to prepare for the consequences that are going to come along with that.
Do you know what? I've never met one, but I would love to hear their purely for like a like market research perspective of how they came to that logical conclusion. I would like to try and find the logic in their argument. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Well, there is. This is the thing, though. There is no logic. You know,
no.
there is no logic to extremism. Is extremism for a reason? You know what I mean? Like nobody opens a book and goes, I know, I'm going to find out all the facts and then make an informed decision. No one that's far right, no one that's a Nazi has ever gone, yeah, I've got all my cards on the table. I've done a degree in Nazism. No one's ever fucking done that.
What
Even in
university
years.
offers that course? Kind of thing.
Exactly, and it's why so many people um are drawn into it. People from backgrounds that are more uneducated, that have less access to education, are more easily indoctrinated because they just believe what people tell them, and that's how they end up, you know, trying to throw bricks at hotels on the south coast.
Yeah.
It's
But I
yeah.
will also completely reverse it when we said, people have got the right to, speak up against it. And I think online has become an issue for that because I think everyone feels like their opinion needs to be heard from a place where there is no consequences.
Yeah, absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
troll
But the
online
thing is,
trolls
though,
and crap like that.
yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And like trolls, online trolls to me, I spend a lot of time online. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. And I put myself out there. You know what I mean? I'm openly queer. I have my gender identity. I identify as non-binary. So I set myself up as a target for people that are trolls. Especially, you know, I'm middle-aged. I look like a Viking in makeup, and that makes me a target for trolls. There we are, look.
Show my two little Viking ones.
A little north,
I got my little
getting
my
a
little
bit
Viking,
north.
my Yggdrasil, the Equinox triangle, and that's a cop out. That's a Blood Angel's wings, Blood Angel wings. I'm also a Warhammer
All
player,
right.
but that's Sanguinius's wings.
Ah.
But I thought it was so cool, and they sort of match it. So
Oh, well, it looks good. Yeah, it's impactful, man. I love it. I love it. I love the ink. So yeah, I do. Like I said, like internet trolls for me are like the same sides. They're on the same level of people that don't pick up their dog shit or put their shopping trolley back. Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't do either of those two things, if you don't put your shopping trolley back, you don't pick up your dog shit. That's everything I will ever need to know about you as a person. Like
I
we
mean,
are not going to be friends.
I'm worried. Well, I'm not worried because this will never happen. If I was a dictator, so many people would die. And it would be
Mm.
if someone, because I'm a smoker, I will not throw a
Yeah,
cigarette butt out the car. I
yeah.
pull it out the window, I twist the embers off, and I've got that little pot next to it that I put it in. And
Yeah.
if to me, I know it sounds true, that's a death sentence already because it's not being considerate for your fellow man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And it's like you know, we all have those thoughts. Like famously, Michael McIntyre did a skit where when somebody overtakes you, when you're in queuing on traffic on the motorway and somebody overtakes you, and you immediately think, die. You know what I mean? And it's those little things where it isn't showing any consideration for your fellow man. And we immediately have those thoughts. You know what I mean?
Well, I was like, I've got a list of them now, and the one's like, if someone doesn't say thank you, and like you let them go through, and they don't say thank you. If someone
Hmm.
doesn't say thank you to the cashier woman,
Yeah.
I literally I get this enraged where I want to drag their hair back and say, no, say thank you. They've just done you a service. And it's needless rage just now building up over this.
It
Like
does. And I think what it is though psychologically is it's things that we could perhaps control. because there's a lot that goes on in the world we have no control over. It just sweeps over us and just fuels our anxiety. But there are these little things that we can do ourselves that become important to us, like holding doors for people, like not dropping rubbish on the street, you know, like not being on your mobile phone when you're talking to someone when you're at a checkout. You know what I mean? Like engaging with the person that's going to, they got to sit there for 8 to 12 hours a day dealing with every wanker on the planet. And you don't have the 30 seconds to just disengage from what you're doing and acknowledge that person. Now that, you know what I mean, that winds me up. And these are things that we can control as people. They're very simple things. And I think that because there are people, obviously, like you and I were very similar in that regard. It's so easy for us to do. So when we see people not doing it, it's very easy to judge and say, well, you know what I mean? If it's easy for me to do it, you know, I struggle to get out of bed some days. And if I can be a decent person to people, then everyone should be a decent person. But everyone's got the right to be a wanker, you know, and there's no cure for being a cunt.
Well. Also, my final one is people spitting on the floor. Never in my life have I produced enough saliva I've needed to spit. So I don't know what they're doing to salivate so much, but yeah. That's one as well. Right. Okay, comedy then. Hello. Yeah. Welcome to an episode of Sit Down for Stand Up. With me, Welsh comedian Mally. How's it going, brother? You good?
Yeah, I'm well, Dan. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. I've heard wonderful, wonderful things about you. So I was very, very eager to sit down and speak with you. So reason for the podcast is to talk to people like yourself who are doing well, but we're still on that ultimate journey together of, you know, we're all in this together. Oh, we're not fucking High School Musical, sorry. We're all in this together. I know, I'm literally just repeating it. You know, we're all still on that journey. You know, we're all still just trying to get there to the end. So I will start off with the question I always do. How and why and when did we get into comedy?
It's a fairly recent revelation to me, to be honest. I've always performed. I've always been in bands. I've been in metal bands for years and years, and I've always had a microphone in my hand. But a few years back, basically, I was on a TV show called The Ranganation on BBC Two with Ramesh Ranganathan, and I did about 5 seasons of that. And during that, I was like, I think I want to try stand up. I think I want to try doing it. I'm one of those people that people have always said, "Oh, you're funny. You should do stand up." And usually, when people say that, and then people get into that environment, they aren't ultimately funny. They're funny when they're drunk at a wedding on a table with strangers, but they're not funny when they stand up in front of people with a microphone. And while I was doing The Ranganation, I was thinking, I really want to do this, you know, because people were asking when we did it in front of a live audience members were asking, "Oh, are they professional stand-ups? Are the Ranganation in that?" I don't know if you know what The Ranganation is. I don't know if you know the format of the show, but basically, I was part of a focus group, a Great British focus group that was put together, and it would be topical. Every week, Ramesh would ask us questions about things that were in the news, just silly stuff, and then we would give our opinions on it. And people in the audience on the first season that we did in the studio were basically asking if we were professional comedians because we were funny. So I thought, I want to do it. I want to do stand up. I want to give it a crack. Like 90% of people in the comedy industry, I suffer from really poor mental health. I'm ADHD. I've got depression. My anxiety just burns through me every single day, and I couldn't quite get over the threshold into doing it. And then ultimately, I signed up for one of the ultra comedy courses in South Wales. And I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to set this challenge for myself. And then you get the bug. Then it's the after that first performance, and it's when you do the ultra comedy stuff, it's the first and maybe the last time you'll play in front of an audience that big for a very long time. And it's a wicked buzz when you actually make people laugh and they respond to what you're saying, especially when you're being authentic in your comedy, because ultimately a lot of us draw from our own experience. We're not absurdists. We're not fabricating stuff. And initially, I've started to get a little bit more obscure in the comedy that I do now, but it's largely based on me as a person. So having people respond to that, you get that immediate bug. And I was like, right, I want to do it. So then immediately you're out there trying to, pick up every spot you can. And then you start driving an inordinate amount of miles just to do 5 minutes at a pub in rural Wales up in the valleys where you don't know how they're going to respond to someone that looks like you. And then as soon as you start making people laugh, you're in and you're hooked. So yeah, that was in summary, that was my journey to stand up was starting with The Ranganation, started being on the TV, and that gave me the confidence to sort of take the step to do it.
Okay. I mean, I love comedians where not only if they're funny, if I can learn a bit about them as well.
Mm.
Like I like knowing about the person, and I will ask the next question set, but like that's why like I always have difficulty with like one-liner comedians and deadpan and stuff. I truly or like character comedy. I do truly appreciate the art. I think it's amazing, but I like to know more about the person. So that's what I
Yeah,
like.
and
So what type of
it's a
comedian are you?
skill. Mm.
Like how would you define your comedy?
Um, it it's very based. It's very like sort of self-centric. It's based
Yeah.
around my experiences. You know, my initial set um, started off very much me, all around mental health, all around my queerness, my gender identity.
Yeah, not
And
mental
it's
health
all,
good, but it's good that you talk about it.
yeah, absolutely,
Like I'm
absolutely. I mean,
such an
because it's
advocate for people getting on stage and
yeah,
okay, metaphorically exposing themselves to the world.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, though, you start to realize pretty quickly that you're not the only person that is sort of this sort of pushing that material, and that everyone, like I said, 90% of people that I've come across in comedy are absolutely mental. Like in some way, shape, or form, comedy just it seems to draw the insecure and the autistic and the ADHDs and the depressives, and there's very few of us that are like, yeah, fine, got up this morning, life was fun, had a normal day. None of us do that. You know, we've all done some wild shit during the day, and really struggled to get to the gig for that 5-10 minutes that we're there performing.
I want a comedian to have that metaphorical demon on their shoulder almost. If anyone like I said
Yeah.
is happy on that, I would silently be like a bit Schadenfreude. I would want something bad to happen, and I would take a little bit of pleasure out of it because we are all like some of us, invoke it internally, some of us do it externally. Most 90% of comedians I speak to, they started comedy from a dark place.
Yeah.
It's cheap man's therapy.
And do you know what it is? I can advocate. Like I'm quite early on in comedy, so at the moment I'm largely within the South Wales scene, and it's a wonderful scene in South
You're
Wales.
tight knit, yeah.
It's yeah, but it's like it's not clicky at all. Like whenever somebody turns up for their first ever stand up, it's brilliant. The support and the encouragement and the advice is so free flowing and so like lovingly given, and to be part of that. And I tend to, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I tend to come across a bit more experienced than I actually am, because of my mouth and my brain will run at 1,000,000 miles an hour with a microphone in front of it, and I can tend to sort of hit gold a fair bit, and people assume that I'm a bit more experienced than I am a lot of the time. But to be meeting people that are like really fresh into the game, they are doing their first set. They've never done it before, so they haven't done a course. They haven't had any training. They're just like, right, I've got 5 minutes or 3 minutes of material, and I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm going to do this in front of strangers. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And like I said, it's the South Wales scene in particular is a brilliant and supportive place. That obviously tying into what you said about free poor man's therapy, because every gig is like a free counselling session. And as soon as you get to know people quite quickly, because on the open mics and on the new material nights, they're usually pretty stacked. So you're meeting 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 new people a night. So you've got a network before you know it. It's a really good way of meeting new people as well.
Really good. And also, like I said about people just getting up there first time and doing it no classes. I can advocate for that because my first time was Comedy Store Gong Show in London.
Right.
In front of 300 people was my first ever time.
Wow. How did you do?
Pardon?
How did you do? How did that go?
A minute 23.
Wow.
And then they fucked me off. But I think I told it was my first time, so I probably got a minute 22 grace period. And then they were like, right, yeah, let's fuck him off now, to be honest. But, the best thing is when you do a bad gig, but you still say, when you do a bad gig early on, and you still say, you know what, no, I want to keep doing this. And then you do get it back. So you said it a while back that I want to pick on. I'm quite cute. I'm always interested about in other sports, not in sports, in other professions and stuff. It's easy to say someone's a professional, someone's a semi-pro, someone's an amateur. How do we benchmark that in the comedy world?
It's difficult to quantify, isn't it? It's difficult to quantify. But I did a new material night in Swansea this week, and it was it was great. Everyone was getting laughs, and then on the end of the night, we just had I can't remember his name now. A really Scottish comedian, been professional for like 13 years, but he just happened to be in the bar. He didn't come down to do comedy. He came down to just to watch the show and enjoy it. But one of the guys on the bill knew him, and they said to Tom Kennedy, was putting the night on, you have to let him perform. You have to. And he got up and did like 10, 15 at the end of it. And the difference in someone that's a polished comedian, and he hadn't performed in 6 months. And the difference in flow and feeling the room out and articulating what he was trying to get across was astounding. It's a bit like being a painter and decorator, to be honest. Like you might be able to cut in on the corners pretty good on your first time, but you're going to be slower at it. Okay. And then as you progress, you're going to get tighter and tighter and then quicker and quicker at cutting those corners in. And that's the difference between a pro and an amateur comic is the flow and the intonation. You know, that it's a practice in honed craft. And I don't profess to be anywhere near it. I feel like I'm floundering a lot of the time.
Everyone does though. Truly,
yeah,
I think
every gig's a blag at the moment. But again, it's like imposter syndrome. You know, like everyone has imposter syndrome.
Well, I'm doing it right now. Everyone. everyone. I think, but then I even think it's to the highest level. Everyone still feels like, wait, I'm doing something that I'm enjoying. This,
yeah.
Where's the catch?
Yeah, how the fuck am I here?
Yeah,
how did this happen to me and it didn't happen to a million other comics that were working just as hard? And it's quite,
So I went to go watch Gong. I went to go watch a Gong show about 4 weeks ago. Joe, Gong shows.
Yeah. I've been to one. Yeah.
Okay, which one?
It was one up in Sheffield. I can't remember what it was called now. It was, yeah.
Well, I went to go watch one 4 weeks ago. So one of my mates was on. I went to go watch and support. I ended up staying for the whole thing. And every comedian that was on, I was thinking, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. Okay, that one was shit. They're brilliant. And it was like, even the one thing I was most shocked about before getting into comedy, I thought, oh, the professionals are good. The open mic's going to be shit. We're going to smash through it. No. Even on open mic level, they are good.
Yeah. There's a lot of meat on the bones, and somebody said to me very early on, Drew Taylor, Drew's a professional comic.
I speak to Drew quite often. Very early on. I speak to Drew quite often.
Yeah, he's the loveliest man, Drew. And I don't think he coined the phrase, but I think somebody said to him when he was starting out, it's not with comedy, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's just learning that, and it's just, I perform well in like anyone would in a room that's familiar, in the sense that I'll bring the house down in a queer room, like at a Pride event or anything like that. But then when I first started out, I did this open mic night at I think a little village called Horncastle in Lincolnshire, and it was like playing to the Elders Council.
Yeah.
It was in like a cool little bike shop, coffee house, and it was like, this is a cool little venue. And then it was the most painful 5-7 minutes of my life.
And you have enough material to change it up, or were they just looking at you straight away, being like, "Oh no, we've made our opinion already"?
Well, I think, like, for me, yeah, absolutely. From my perspective, it was like, well, I'm just, it's the greater good. Like, they're not interested in what.
For the greater good. Yeah. Great reference, dude.
They're not interested in what I'm saying or what I'm doing. But from other people's perspective, the people that own the bike shop, and the cafe, and from my girlfriend's perspective, and You know, she's always brutally honest with me. If stuff tanked, you know, when she comes to watch me, if stuff tanked, she will tell me it tanked. She will not suck my metaphorical dick and tell me that I did a good job when I didn't do a good job. And yeah, and that was, you know, it was horrendous. But what I try to do when it comes to bad gigs, I used to do it as well when I was in a band, and we would always say, when we get to the gig, when we're set up, if no one's into it or there's no one there, it's a jam. It's a free jam, like it is when we go in on a Sunday to our rehearsal room, and we're just mates and we'll have a crack. And it's the same with comedy. You know, even if I have a bad night, I get to see some wonderful people, and it's a learning curve as well. You know, like why didn't a joke hit in this room that hit so wonderfully in a room previously? You know, I'm trying to integrate this some not more political but more sort of ethical stuff because you know, I'm pretty woke. I'm a very woke individual. Like one of my new bits is basically I'm so woke that I ask consent on ghost hunts, and but I've got a bit in there about veganism as well, because I'm booked to play a vegan wellbeing weekend in Matlock in October. So I'm trying to write some stuff in, you know, and like doing a vegan bit to a room that isn't a vegan room is a challenge, you know.
Vegan's like one of them words, if you're not vegan, they don't like to hear it. Like it's just it's like saying, I don't know, what's your job? I'm a lawyer, I'm a banker. Who do you support? Oh, I choose Israel over Palestine. Like, whilst everyone's up to their opinion, there are some things where instantly people are like, oh, they get their back up.
Almost. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I mean it. Look, we're wankers, you know. Vegans are wankers. But we have to be, you know, and we are, because we're like, I'm not going to go off on a veganism rant, but I've said, you know, that there are a couple of different types of vegans, and one of them is a small V vegan, and then there's a capital V vegan. And when I started out, I was like, I'm not gonna be a wanker, you know. I'm gonna keep my head down. I'm gonna do it for the animals and all that. And then when I met my girlfriend, who's like a whole caps lock vegan, not even big V, my V started growing, and I'm a wanker now. You know, I'm a proud
I also
wanker.
say it's the same with racists. Because have you ever seen Avenue Q, the Muppet Show?
No,
it's brilliant. No. It's like basically like sexualized puppets. It's brilliant, but it's like everyone's a little bit racist, and I do agree with that segment. Everyone has a little bit of a niche on stereotypes, and they judge instantly. But I said there's always a difference between an AM racist and a PM racist.
Yeah.
If you wake up in the morning like, oh, I hate this, it's like, yeah, okay, you are a fully qualified racist. But everyone, you know, subconsciously makes, you know, ill-formed decisions that they then go, oh, why'd I think that? Why'd I say that? Or not say.
And
then you get annoyed at yourself. Like,
there's institutional racism, which is inherent, especially in the West. It's inherent in many people. It's still there. We still have preconceived ideas. We still make very quick judgments, like you said, on people. But it's how you call it out. You know, like Terry Pratchett famously said. It's not your first thoughts that define you. It's the way that you react to your first thoughts. And going back to
that's beautiful. That is.
Yeah, it is, and it's like, you know, all these people that are outside asylum hotels at the moment. They're purely on first thoughts. The first thing that's coming to their brain there. They're acting on it. That's how it works. You know, and it's not that it defines you.
Yeah, the rabble. Yeah, it just all just blurs into the same tone. Rabble.
It does. Do you know what? Funnily enough, what it reminds me when they film in like Granada Studios where they film Coronation Street, they have a full House of Commons set in there, and people when they go on people go on tours of it, they're allowed to go in and pretend to be Parliament, and what they tell them to do is just say rhubarb.
Okay.
In there. So it's exactly the same thing. So if somebody's on the, you know, the one side and on the other, and they just shout rhubarb at each other, and that's how you get the rabble, because it's the same vibe. It's that like sort of mob rule vibe, and it sounds exactly like it would in Parliament. You know,
the one I love as well. someone told me this, and I know he's not the best advocate, I must admit, but it was Russell Brand's, and it was so you got Punch and Judy, and it's like, which one do you agree with? Oh, do you agree with Punch or do you agree with Judy? Well, they're both, orchestrated by the same person.
Yeah, yeah.
So what puppet do you agree with? Not the person behind it saying both of these things. Which one do you agree with? And I thought that was brilliant. Like, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of political commentary.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about Russell Brand is he made an entire career out of sort of political and social commentary, but it was very basic political and social commentary. He just flanks it up with fluffy words, like his chocky-wocky words, but it's kind of, and it draws it back down to the irony now of that is that Russell Brand's an entirely different person now. He presents an entirely different face to the world now. He's a Christian, he's baptized, he's right wing, he believes in Donald Trump and all that. So who do you agree with now? Old Donald Trump Punch, or old Russell Brand Punch, or new Russell Brand Judy? Because are they being controlled by the same person?
Money. Capitalist is still always the one. I always think, how much does it cost you to sell your morals out the window? And everyone does have a value, unfortunately.
Well, what do you do with it? It's the ethical choice, isn't it? I don't know. As someone like me who's an advocate for so many things, so many woke things in the queer community, the LGBTQ community, and veganism and stuff like that. Does my morality have a price? Do my values have a price? That someone will say, well, I'm going to give you this to give up on that. Oh God, man, it's such a difficult.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, I won't go down it too long on the rabbit hole, but I'm going to jump down that then. Okay, maybe not for a monetary gain, but maybe for an emotional gain, you would. Well, like emotional relationship stability, or I think everyone's got that one thing that they would give up their morals for comfort. Like, talk about it was like to save a relationship, to save harmony, to save peace, to make monetary gain. I think people would sell. Everyone does have a price. They would. Well, I mean,
if somebody turned around to me tomorrow and said, "Eat a burger for a free Palestine," you know what I mean? I would be deep throating that fucking burger.
I ain't chewing that bitch.
Left, right, and center. No, you know what I mean? It wouldn't touch the sides, and I'd probably make myself sick after it. But ultimately, if someone said something like that to me, if it was a world peace for a fish finger, I'd dry it out.
Not breaded. We have a line.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You'd be a fool not to,
I could, but I know that's a massive, extreme point of it, but I think everyone does have that. So, okay, going with the whole woke stuff, I do like asking this question then, from your point of view. Can anyone joke about anything?
Yeah. Yeah, and it has to be either everything is on the table or nothing's on the table. Because where does it stop? Where does the regulation stop? But I have to make it implicitly clear that if in my opinion, if somebody is, even through comedy, is espousing something despicable, they have to face the consequences of their actions for that.
100%.
But to say that nobody can say anything now, but this is my bugbear with it though. This is my bugbear with everything, with the whole people that are like cancel culture thing, right? Cancel culture is ultimately a myth, right? Because all it does, and this is a thing, in the sense of changing your morality beliefs, selling your soul to the devil for certain things, right? Because everyone, let's take Russell Brand for an instance again, right? Russell Brand, I'm being cancelled, I'm being persecuted, I'm being cancelled. You have not been off my fucking television for 6 months. You were richer now than you were before you started, right? No one is getting cancelled, they're just getting shifted. Now, what people tend to do is that if people are, say, on the left and they get cancelled by the left, a lot of the time what they will do then is it will pick up right-wing ideology, and you've got an entirely new group of friends behind you then. And this is what Russell Brand specifically has done. He's got a new bunch of schoolmates now. He's in with the bullies,
Yeah.
So when people are coming forward and say Russell Brand essayed me, you know what I mean? He has got 1 million people behind him now, being apologists for that behavior, because that's the people he's aligned to. So he was never cancelled. Cancel culture doesn't exist in the sense that,
completely agree.
you know what I mean? There's backlash, yes, but you've not been cancelled. You know, Katie Hopkins has never been cancelled because she's never fucking gone away. If someone's going to be cancelled, fucking cancel them. Make sure that they're not exposed again. Do not give these people a platform again if they're that despicable. But they never lose their platform and they're never taken away. So to go back to you, should everything be joked about, right? Comedy, as we know, is subjective. Yep. You know, we see it all the time on the internet. You know, we see clips pop up of comedians and people are like, oh, about as funny as Toothache. You know, I commented back the other day on, somebody said that about as funny as Toothache. And I said to them on there, I don't know why I'm engaging with people on Facebook. I know I shouldn't do it. You don't win arguments. But I said, again, like comedy, toothache is subjective. It just all depends who has the toothache. For instance, if you had the toothache, I would find that fucking hilarious. You know, and people have to be able to say, but I don't think the nature of comedy has changed. I don't think we are in you can't say anything. Period.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. And funnily enough, I think you hear it more from the right saying, oh, we're not allowed to say this anymore, it's bollocks, than people actually saying they can't say it. Because they just a moan.
Yeah, but people can say whatever they want. There are still very successful right-wing comedians. Do you know what I mean? And like people like Rob Schneider, for instance. Rob Schneider's he's like a poster child now for the right wing, you know, for the anti-woke. But Rob Schneider, you're in the new Happy Gilmore film. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're not cancelled, mate. And being cancelled is just another like sort of dog whistle to the world. It's another when people say, "Oh, they've cancelled me," you react one of two ways. You either go and get a new group of schoolmates to hang around with in the playground, or you face up and face the consequences of what you've been cancelled for.
Yeah, but I do think everyone just sees now it as a PR moment. Oh, I want this to happen. So as I said to you off the podcast, just what I was like, I would love to interview a right-wing Nazi to expose them on here. I would love that for the clickbait. Like people say all this to get the attention because we are all dopamine whores.
Yeah, but this leads back into to what we were discussing earlier. What price do you have in it for that clickbait, for that engagement? So like I personally wouldn't, if it was a surprise Nazi where you've got someone on and they look like me, but then all of a sudden all of a sudden they've gone, God, you know what about Jewish people, right? If it was a surprise,
you've got to do that, dude. You've got to do a pure right-wing set one day.
Oh, I couldn't do it, mate.
Amazing.
My anxiety would absolutely, I couldn't, I'd like to say I'm careful about what comes out of my mouth, but I'm not, unfortunately, but I'm pretty safe because I'm pretty woke. But like, anyway, like the whole thing, the whole point of it is, the whole point of the question, can anything be made jokes about? Absolutely it can. And some people will find that funny. Now, there's the question of, does that then lean into substantiating or perpetuating that ideology? Yeah, absolutely. There's a danger that is going to happen. However, that's going to happen regardless of whether someone's doing a 10-minute set. You know what I mean? And look, it doesn't tend to, like, if people did come out doing like full out Nazi comedy, they're going to disappear pretty quickly. And there's comedians in this world, and and in my opinion, rightly so, there are comedians out there. Like, I don't think there's a place in the world. Not I don't think. I absolutely believe that there isn't a place in the world now for comedy, like your Bernard Manning sort of comedy. I don't. There is no place for that now, because that's just, it's hateful and it's ignorant. Yeah, it's not clever.
That's the thing as well. It's got to be clever and it's got to be funny. It can't just be hate spew.
Exactly. Like, and like, if you're appealing to the lowest common denominator just by making jokes about racial stereotypes, then that isn't comedy anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so for it has to, and you know, how do you quantify comedy is another question. But ultimately, I forgot what I was going to say. That's how it works. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people as well. Like, there's things that people will laugh at behind closed doors that they don't laugh at in public, and people will pearl clutch, you know. And we've all seen it at comedy shows where people do something a bit risque, you know, and it's the ooh reaction.
Yeah. I
Like
love that
Danny
reaction.
Moore.
I love
You know,
that reaction
yeah,
better than the laugh. Love it.
yeah.
Because I'll give you one of my jokes, and it's been in my set for the last sort of 10 gigs, and I love it so much. It's my ending one, and it gets that before, and it gets an instant judge, and it's a takeaway. It's a misdirection, but I love this joke so much. Really proud of it. So do ha. Okay, guys, I'm gonna offend some of you now, but I need to be honest. I don't agree with gay marriage. Shock.
Yeah, yeah.
Shock. Love it. The room hates me. I love it. Okay, and I'll tell you for why. When a man and a woman get married, a woman's workload increases by 6 hours a week. A man's workload decreases by an hour a week. Now, that's not fair. That's why they look so good. They've got all the spare time. They've got time to go gym, get their hair done, look fabulous. It's not fair. Now, actually, I'll tell you what. If I sucked enough dick, I might be able to get myself a girlfriend. Love it. Love it. It doesn't punch down. People are ready to hate me, but then they see the reverse. I love that joke so much.
I know this is uncomfortable. I keep looking down at my computer screen everywhere. I'm not at my camera, so some of this is going to look awful.
I look at you there, but if I look there, I can't engage.
Yeah,
with you there,
I'm looking.
so...
I'm like you're there. So yeah, I'm trying to look at the camera like a professional.
So how do you go about writing a joke?
I basically just start with a loose concept of it. To be honest, I just sort of like I said about I'm so woke. I ask for consent on ghost hunts things, and I make sort of a basic, just sort of a framework of it. And then I just blag it, and I just test it, you know. And I'm quite lucky. I'm quite quick.
I'm thinking so I'm so woke. I asked my pillow before consent.
Well, it like it, and it's sort of like the ridiculousness of or what people's perceived ridiculousness of woke culture is, because it's nothing now to do with what it actually is, you know. People think they call it the woke mind virus, and that part of the new skit I was doing is I've just got my test results back from the doctor, and I have to say that I am infected with the woke mind virus. Right. There's no cure for it, but you can abate the symptoms by regularly masturbating to photos of Katie Hopkins. And it like there's sort of things I will write them down in sort of, I don't structure anything. I think that my personality and the way that I present anyway is just kind of loose and a bit erratic. So I don't structure jokes. I know some comics will write down word for word.
One of them.
My friend Abby Miles, she will literally write down everything word for word in her diary, and her diary is never away from her. Whereas I'll just scribble some notes, and then hope for the best. And then like this is what the wonderful abundance of new material nights and open mic nights is great for, because you can go there and you can start on something you're familiar with, and then that gives you an opportunity to feel out the room, and then you have the opportunity to polish it and perfect it. And it's not like writing music, like musically you can write a song in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to show it to anyone until it's absolutely perfect, and you can go out and you can play that at the absolute best of your ability. Now, whether people like the song or not is a different matter, but you can prep it, you know, to the point where it's polished, and you can't do that with comedy.
Well, if only
Because
there's a
without
place
that,
that's going live in September where you could jump on and try a new set the second you think of it. But, you know,
if only
yes,
there were that resource available.
yeah.
Um,
I give my own show on my own show. This is ridiculous.
how dare you?
Okay, so I'm bringing you back to Earth now, Mally. Tell
Okay.
me a time you've looking back at your set over the 2 years.
Hmm.
What is one joke that you thought was funny at the time, and now you look back and you think, why the hell did I think that was funny?
Oh God. Again, it's a really subjective thing because there are jokes that will work in some rooms and don't work in others. But I one thing that said tended to not work, and I was desperate to cling on to it. And it may still be funny, but when I would say, I identify as non-binary, I'm queer, my pronouns are he, him, they, them, and dear God, what is that thing? And some like it, I was desperate to cling on to it because it was my first like original thought, you know, about what I was going to deliver, and it just never worked. And I dropped it a long time ago. It just never seemed to work in room after room after room. I
Challenge
thought it
that.
always. Hmm?
That's a universal joke. Laughter.
Yeah,
You got a natural laugh from me then. I like
yeah.
that was yeah.
I don't
So
know if it was how I delivered it, you know what I mean, the timing, intonation of how I delivered it, but it just never seemed to float. And I think it was just I wanted it to be much funnier in my head.
yeah, I get that,
And
but I think that is the creator's burden. That's creative mindset
mm,
burden that you want everything to be gold. It is okay from time to time to have low nuggets, like
yeah,
low hanging fruit.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I always start my set like okay, my one of my favorite simple jokes I always do. If I do the gay bit, I would go, is anyone out here gay tonight?
Mm.
Yes. Oh, thanks for coming out. That's not creative. That is low
Yeah.
hanging, easy fruit.
Mm. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
smart, but
No,
it gets a chuckle. Like simple one. Oh, I'm not a fan of the left. They made it so you can't laugh at fat people anymore. It makes this job a lot harder.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's not smart. It's not. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's not up there with Stairway to Heaven. Like
No,
it's Justin
absolutely
Bieber,
not.
baby, but
Yeah.
you feel cheat.
But
You feel like you're cheating the system.
you do when you get a laugh out of, stuff that would be quite like it would seem quite inane. You think, fuck me, I can't believe that landed.
Yeah.
I can't believe for a second that that's what got the laugh. But it is low hanging fruit, and there's always room for a penis joke, you know. And the lowest hanging fruit of all in comedy, and I'm absolutely convinced that this is true, are nonce jokes. Like, and I swear to God, you go to any new material night, and 60% of the comedians will have some reference to noncing
I would have
in
got
their
one.
set.
Not got a nonce joke.
Have you not? No, I haven't either. But then,
No.
like, everyone I go to now, I'm like, oh, another nonce joke,
Yeah.
and it's it just seems that that's the go-to for the
Oh,
lowest of.
I could shout five like now. Like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like people were like eyeing up me and my girlfriend because she was 19. They're looking disgust on us,
Hmm,
but they don't understand it was our 5th year anniversary. Like,
yeah,
that's so easy to shit out. Like, I was buying birthday balloons. I asked her if she can help me pick out a 3 and a 1. She's like, oh, is your girlfriend 31? I was like, oh no, they're the other way around. That's so easy to shit out, and
yeah,
that is low hanging fruit. I will agree with you.
hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
and it is like you said, you can bang them out left, right, and center, and it's people. But dick jokes, fart jokes. I've got a couple of penis centric. I do one where I say, being non-binary, I no longer have to explain away my tiny dick. I just tell people that I've got an overly large clitoris. Now that always gets a laugh, you know. And then I've got like a sort of gross out joke about. I do a bit where have you seen Kingsman, the Taron Egerton
oh
film,
yeah.
where
So,
you have to go to glass.
you go to him when you mention Kingsman.
What, Taron Egerton?
Yeah, that's your go-to.
Well, who would you mention?
Fuck, why have I already forgot his name? No, not Daniel Craig. My mum absolutely is my mum's go-to shag celebrity. Was in Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Oh God, Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. No, not Colin Farrell.
No, Colin Firth.
It's Colin Firth. Yeah, that's my mum's go-to celebrity bank.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. See, that's what all the.
Is that what it is? Oh,
Yeah,
just Mamma Mia.
Mr. Darcy in one of the very, excuse me, one of the many Pride and Prejudice adaptations. But yeah, no, Taron Egerton. But in that film, he has to go to Glastonbury and he has to put a tracker on a woman at Glastonbury and he has to put it on a mucous membrane. And he's like, oh, that's fantastic. I can put it up her nose. And his mate goes, no, it has to be a different mucous membrane. And, part of the bit, the gross out bit is where I go, he has to put it up her foof, which got me thinking, when a woman's aroused, is that just vagina snot? And that always tends to get, and that's low hanging fruit, it's gross out comedy. And that always seems to get like a ooh laugh to it, which is good. But that was another thing that I never really. I think it was a random thought in a car. The amount of I do a lot of driving, not comedy driving as most comedians do, but because my relationship is between two cities, I do a lot of driving, so I get a lot of time to think, to have random bits pop into my head. And there's a lot of voice notes on my phone.
So I think you need to write them down there and then, because you'll forget them 5 minutes later, and that's the most infuriating thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was coming out with some wicked like vegan bits the other day to my girlfriend in the car. She was like, "Yeah, this has got legs. This is really good," and I didn't record it. And she has severely deficient biographical memory, SD something M biographical STB something. Anyway, Danny Moore has it as well. Where the stuff goes out of their head really quickly and they can't form mental images. So she forgets everything. So I can try stuff on her loads of times because it's like the first time she's ever fucking heard it. Yeah, because she forgets. So she forgot what I was coming up with, and I forgot what I was coming up with. So now I'm trying to come up with new stuff to take to this fucking vegan wellbeing weekend.
Oh, if you want, I've not got a vegan joke, but there's one I always think about, and it's like you're guaranteed in Asda, if you go to the reduced aisle, 90% of it's going to be vegan stuff. So I don't know who would ever pay full price for a vegan item. I don't know. There could be something there. Welcome to go along that thought process. It's always sort of laugh. I've always thought like it's guaranteed to be, oh, sausages. Oh, no for heck. No, okay, no. It's always the vegan stuff at the reduced.
Ironically, though, the majority of the stuff it's not just the vegan things like heck sausages and all that. It's fruits and vegetables, which have always by default been vegan. So people are paying full price for vegan shit all the time, but they're moaning when people tell them to be vegan. But when they want a jacket potato with beans on it, if they believe me, right, if they labelled potatoes as vegan, people would stop buying them.
Well, didn't they just I just saw a comedian doing it. It was like there was like lemon juice that was made out of sympathetic lemons, but there was lemon, say like cleaning spray that had real lemons in it. It was just a massive confliction, and I thought that was ridiculous. So okay, I like this one. What do you personally get out of comedy, and what does the comedy world get out of you being in it?
Oh. What do I get out of comedy? Free therapy, like we were talking about earlier. Absolutely, like every gig, especially the new material nights and open mic nights. So they're like free therapy because you're going to know at least 6 people there, and everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's struggling. Everyone's mentally ill, and it's sort of the antithesis of being in a band as well. I get to perform now and not have to deal with 5 other people's opinions or input on what I'm doing. It's solely mine, and so I get a sort of unabashed creativity from it that I don't have to answer to anyone else or pander to anyone else or compromise with anyone else. It's just me putting it out there. So there's that as well. I did so many years in bands, and 60% of being in a band is arguing with people over 2 notes. Go digit, not digit. Go digit. No digit. That's 60% of being in a band.
Yeah.
So now there's that, but it is like the mental health thing. It's the community thing. It's the getting out of the fucking house thing. Yeah. If I wasn't doing comedy, I would be doom scrolling, you know, or I would be on a TikTok live, sat there being immensely disappointed that there are only 3 people on this entire platform that care what I have to say. Yeah. You know, and
if you got your tits out, all of a sudden, you know, you got 10,000 viewers and life on easy mode almost.
It's like, you know, and obviously I don't begrudge anyone that's doing that. But if I had the form to have an OnlyFans account, if I had a cracking set of tits, I would be doing exactly the same thing. There's no
100%. I do not hate on women doing that whatsoever. I tell you what I hate on the men who pay for it, because I genuinely think they need help. I think that shows the mental well-being of men, that they would spend money, hard-earned money, to look at a girl who they know is doing an act.
Yeah.
And I worry for men's mental health in that regard.
I mean, and it always sets unrealistic expectations of women as well. It does. There's an argument to be. I mean, I don't get too serious, but there's an argument to be made about, especially women that do it on things like the OnlyFans platform. It's, you know, it's like the whole Bonnie Blue thing at the moment. That's another thing that I don't think there's a single night that I've been to in recent months that hasn't had some sort of Bonnie Blue related joke. Yeah. Like she's everywhere at the moment, and there's the argument: is it abject feminism? Is it empowerment that this woman's doing this, or is it disgusting? And it's kind of a horrible subject to think about, because I support. I'm a very firm believer in sex work is work. Yeah. And I believe that women doing it under their own steam on the OnlyFans platform. But again, it's got an escalation, like everything on social media. If you have a video of you picking your nose that got 4 million hits, the next video you have to be picking both nostrils with 4 fingers.
It's the escalation. Yeah.
Yeah. Escalate. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You have to be like, I started following this guy, excuse me, on Instagram. And basically he's a cellist, but he's like a weird goblin cellist, and he sort of stands on the side of his cello and plays it, you know, and it's quirky. And I thought, this is really fucking cool. And then every video since, he's just trying to do something more and more fucking ridiculous. So now I'm on my cello in the bath with the shower on, and the bath's filled with beans, and there's a crocodile, and I've got a stupid hat on, you know what I mean? And like a Kellogg's cornflakes box on my dick. It's like, the escalation's like ridiculous. And
great. And I think then you become disillusioned from reality, because if you've got 5,000 people telling you how amazing you are, that dopamine hit is gonna alter your mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to go out to the real world and almost be offended that people don't know you, or people don't treat you like they would treat you online.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, like I don't know Bonnie Blue as an individual. I don't know what she's like. I don't know what her upbringing is. I don't know what, you know, if she's had any trauma, or she just came to it because she enjoyed sex or whatever. I don't know the woman.
Found a niche in the market, and she is capitalizing heavily.
Absolutely. But, you know, and again, this is everyone. Back to everyone has a price. You know, Bonnie Blue, the price of her fame, the price of infamy more than fame, the price of her fame, the price of her wealth, of her success, is sort of degradation. You know what I mean? Like having a queue of men that have signed up to stand in a hallway in their socks and a vest with their dick out, fathers and sons high-fiving each other, you know what I mean, over this woman's back. You know, men that fucking just love football, hate the wife, go out drinking Stella, they're signing up to put their dick into their semi-flaccid dick into Bonnie Blue for 35 seconds so she can break a record and make a lot of money. Like, who's the mug at the end of the day, you know?
But also, I think it does show a really unfortunate state of affair. And I don't know, I presume society's been like this since the dawn of man, where we benchmark success by money, not by happiness, not by family, virtue, what a good person you are, your morality. It all seems to be success is marked on a monetary base.
Capitalism, yeah, absolutely, and it has a, you know, capitalism, like any sort of like method of society, it comes and goes. You know, it absolutely comes and goes. And there's an irony. There's an irony, and you know, it's a bit of a Zen philosophy. But at the point where you are happy and you are satisfied and you are successful in your own right, that money is the last thing you're thinking about. It's a bit of, you know what I mean, it's a bit of a Zen perspective. When you actually find all the feelings that you're trying to achieve through money, you realize that money's not the important part of it.
Completely agree. Because okay, I'll be real here. I've earned quite a bit of money in my time through my companies. I have never been more happier in life than I am doing this podcast and doing comedy. Mental health state. Running the recruitment company was just stress. Running the pub was just stress. Sold all them. Just do comedy now, and my mental well-being is just clearer. And whilst I'm not as wealthy as what I used to be, I've never been happier.
Yeah, I've never been wealthy. You know what I mean? I've never been wealthy, and it's always like sort of things, because it's an ADHD thing as well, where things are important. You know, to my happiness. At the moment, it's ukuleles. You know, I'm obsessed with fucking ukuleles, and then I'll go through like a Transformers phase. I'm not in a Transformers phase at the moment, thank fuck. I've just come out of a Power Rangers one, but in a moment,
Warhammer.
No, I've never been into that sort of like gaming.
We're going to talk about like was on that. I'm a 40k nerd, proper through and through.
Are you? It's one of those things. Like I've always I don't know if it's a dirty word in the 40k universe, but I've always wanted to play D&D. You know, I've always wanted to get around a table and be expressive and be creative. And watching what's the cartoon Critical Role, Vox Machina or whatever on Amazon Prime. Like watching that, I was like, I want to do this. I want to be doing like the acting it out and the being expressive and the thing like that. And then when I was a kid, some of my friends were into like Warhammer and stuff, and Space Hulk and Blood Bowl, and everyone had minis and they were painting them. And I knew all the lore about gene stealers and mages and all of that sort of Space Marines and all that sort of thing. And I was there, but it was just I never got into the actual specifics of gaming or doing the minis or anything like that. You know,
I don't see on camera, but I have 5 shelves here stacked with Warhammer.
Oh,
absolutely stacked. Like 7 armies, all to 3,000 point level. Without sounding like a cock, I've probably got about 10 grand sitting there in shitty bits of plastic. They call it plastic crack.
Well, it is though, isn't it? But it's like anything, you know. It's like my obsession with Transformers. I've had it since 1986, you know, and it's not gone away. And I would spend all the time in the world. You know, I spend all the money in the world on Transformers. If I won the Euro Millions tomorrow, my Transformers collection would be immense. You know,
I mean, everyone's got games these days, like figurines these days. God, they have evolved, haven't they? It's like ridiculous expectations. I would love it now, but God, I will jump back onto comedy because there's a couple of more ones that I want to get banged out that I always love asking.
going completely off piece on this, aren't we? Right?
Yeah, I love it. Comedy, I absolutely love it. It's a completely different perspective, but we can completely nerd out, and you know,
for hours on it.
Literal hours and hours. So I will ask what's been your favourite moment on stage, and what time have you bombed the hardest?
Do you know what? I'm fortunate up until because of my sort of relative inexperience. I've never bombed. I can say that hand on heart. I've had less receptive audiences, but I've never properly shit out. You know, I've been really lucky in that sense. There's always somebody that has laughed.
Okay. Have you ever had any hecklers or anything?
I mean, I do, but nothing like I had a tape like I did a stand up for trans rights charity event in where was it, in Caerphilly in South Wales. And it was a very queer audience. It was an easy run for me because it was a very, very queer audience. But we had this works do pop up, which was basically just 6 men drunk and 1 woman at work, and they took the front table, and it was me in the second half, it was Abby Miles, who's a trans woman, and it was me, who's like queer, non-binary, on after. And I thought, oh my God, I've got to deal with these. And my anxiety was through the roof. And then I got there and I picked, as soon as the mic hit, went in front of my mouth, I just eviscerated them, basically. I just, you know, there's always one member that you can pick on. And I deal with hecklers, like I deal with sort of feedback from the audience quite well. I'm quite quick.
Okay, so can we do a dummy run on this?
I'll have a go then.
Okay, I'm in the crowd, you're doing your bit, and I go, I don't know, you're shit. Get off the stage.
You're shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so immediately, I say, thanks for your input, mate. Obviously, any interaction helps fuel the algorithm. What's your name, buddy?
Daniel.
Dan, what do you do for a living?
I'm going to make this up now. I'm a plumber.
You're certainly not a fucking professional heckler.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so you're certainly not a professional heckler. What's your favourite type of plumbing, Dan?
I want to plumb your mum's drains.
See, this heckler's funnier than I am.
I love that. Cool.
To plumb my mum's drain. My mum's drain. You couldn't afford
any
to
other
plumb
plumbing.
Drains.
I couldn't think of any plumbing. I panicked.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Oh, thanks for the dummy, right? I feel like a knob now.
No, you don't.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty quick.
No, that was perfect. That was brilliant. Because I can't remember always when we've dealing with hecklers, the bar's a lot lower because it's live and it shows it cannot be scripted. Like you're not a professional heckler, that would set the room off.
Absolutely, and it's like at the end of the day, I think with any bully, because a heckler effectively is just like a vacuous little bully that thinks they're funny. They think that they're funnier than the comedian. They're the person that stood there with a microphone in their hand. Yeah. But as soon as you put the spotlight on that person, most people tend to shrink.
I hate that so much. They'll be like, say like again, like let's do that enactment again, okay? You're shit.
Well, I can't remember what I said now.
Who said that? Like, and then they go quiet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I said thanks for your engagement. It helps the algorithm. Yeah. Hello, mate. What's your name, buddy?
That's
you're quiet now, ain't you? Yeah.
Brilliant. That's the fucking worst. I hate that so much. But they don't repeat it. And then it's
absolutely with most things in life, you know, going back to the sort of woke thing, the best way to deal with people saying things that you don't like is to ask them to say it again. And it's the first thoughts, second thoughts thing, the whole Terry Pratchett thing. If somebody comes out with something despicable, say, "Oh, what? Sorry, say that again." And then the second time they'll usually catch themselves and they won't want to say it, and they'll go a bit more sheepish. And it's the same with hecklers. Obviously, there's the alcohol factor in it. You know, the more drunk people get, the more brazen they get in their heckling, and the less likely they are to be humiliated or humbled, because alcohol takes that capacity away from people a lot of the time. But I'm really lucky, you know. I'm really lucky, and to be honest, and I've always said it, I might be wearing makeup, you know. A lot of the time, I might have a dress on, or have heels on when I'm performing. But at the end of the day, I'm still a 16, 17 stone, whatever weight I'm carrying at the time. I still look like a 16, 17 stone bloke. You know, I still look like a Viking in a dress. So a lot of the time, people will find me, an audience will find me a little bit intimidating and not kind of know where to put me.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because I'm not intimidating in the slightest. I'm not that sort of person. I never have been.
Same here. I'm 6 foot. I'm quite well built. I used to be really fat. I'm quite well built. I am the biggest pussy in the world. I'm being honest here. I'm a scaredy. I played American football and rugby 4 years each to a professional level. I'm scared to get hit. Like I hate violence. Isn't
that weird how we sort of do things like that? I'm like, it's been a long time. It's been about 6 years. But you know, I'm a black belt kickboxer.
Yeah.
But I've got no desire to get punched in the face. Like, I don't like it. You know, I'm still gonna need a cuddle after a confrontation. You know, I don't like it. I think it's no, I hate it. You know, there is something to be said, you know, for an endorphin rush of being punched in the head by somebody that you're on good terms with. You know, when you're training to do martial arts and it's you and your buddies and you're beating the crap out of each other, that's a hell of a lot of fun. But I don't like confrontation, and I never have, and I've always been a bit of a ninny, and my big brothers will tell you that. Right? You know, I've always been a bit of a ninny, a bit of a wuss.
I love it. But then, are you the type of guy who's like, you're fine, red mist?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like,
yeah.
I'm
long
not
fuse,
like,
but big dynamite.
It's weird though, because I'm a bit like a Jack Russell, in the sense where I've got a short fuse, but it's only like short to the sort of snippy, mildly aggressive point.
You know miniature dash hounds.
Yeah, I don't.
I got two of them. They're arseholes.
I don't suffer fools gladly. So I'll go from yeah, it's all right, yeah, it's fine, to what in like a, you know what I mean, in a heartbeat. So I don't have a long fuse. I'm not calm. I'm not zen up until a point. I get annoyed and I get impatient very, very quickly. But there's a big gap between that and violence, like a huge gap between that and violence. So I don't think I've ever been pushed to the point where I've actually got physical with someone. I've walked away before it's got to that point. I don't want to mess up my makeup.
The last time I ever started a fight, and I've only ever started a fight once in my life, was when I was in year 6 because Jared punched my twin.
Really?
Yeah. It's the only time I've ever started a trouble, in year 6 at the age of 10, because my twin was going up a bouncy castle. It was like a slide one, and he dragged him down and he hit him because he wanted to go up first. And I saw a red mist. And then I realised I have the Farr psycho gene in me. But
I see you, Jared. You fucking you still haven't forgotten Jared now.
It's 23 years ago.
Yeah.
But I hope you remember. Do not mess with my
fuck you, Jared.
Exactly.
No, I mean there's times, there's times where honestly, and it may be it may be controversial, right? But I genuinely think that there are too many people in this world that aren't getting a slap now when they need a slap.
Online media stuff as that as well. Like, a lot of people walking around not being. But I think Mike Tyson said it, didn't he? There's a lot of people walking around comfortable without the fear of getting punched in the face.
Exactly, and that's like internet trolls, and like you said earlier, everyone thinks that their opinion has to be heard now, and that their opinion is important. And social media has done that, giving somebody a medium to be able to spew the most despicable shit in the world, without consequence. But then again, when people do face consequences for it, again, it's polarizing. There was that woman, I don't know if she was married to someone political, but during riots, she posted something that was blatantly racist and inflammatory, and she got done for it, and I think she went to prison for it because she did it at a time of she did it at a really, really fucking inappropriate time. But now she has she's got the right wing have got her back now.
Once again, that's not freedom of speech. That was stupid. That was stupid counselling because she pled guilty. So they had to give her a custodial sentence. If she pled non-guilty, she'd have been fine. Yeah. That was just. Well, I'm not saying incite hate. I'm not saying that for 1 second. But freedom of speech, we still have it in this country. Just don't be an idiot and plead guilty to it, because then you're saying you actively said that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the only reason she got a custodial sentence, because it was the minimum custodial sentence they could have given someone who pled guilty on it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was absolutely stupid. Also, it was stupid to say it in the first place on a platform. And when you put something online, don't think it is ever actually truly can disappear. Blueprint, green print, footprint, whatever it's called, is there forever. So
nothing disappears on the internet.
Crazy. Bottom line, guys, hashtag don't be a twat.
Yeah. Hashtag there's no cure for being a cunt. Thank you.
Exactly.
Tyrion Lannister. Thank you. No, that wasn't Tyrion Lannister. That was, what's his name? That was Jerome. Was it Bronn? No. Yeah. Bronn.
The one who was in Oh my love. Oh, who did that?
Yeah,
Unchained
Robson and
Melody.
Jerome. I always get
Yes.
them mixed up. I always call him like Jerome Robson, but it's not because that's both of their names or
Yeah.
something.
Apparently,
Yeah, he was in Soul.
he went out with Cersei Lannister, that actor. So there was a bit in the contract where they could never be on a scene together.
Oh, really?
If you actually walk through it, they're never on the same scene together, even though they're both in King's Landing for like 3 seasons.
Yeah, he is in recovery from a cult after his yeah,
Yeah.
after Soldier and his Unchained Melody chart success, he joined a cult and he was properly balls deep in it for a long time.
You know that.
And yeah, now he's coming out the other side and sort of regaining a bit of his career.
Alton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, but like it's
That's
I
rehabilitation program.
I kill for a role like that. I kill for like something, you know, like when you get like a bit part in Game of Thrones and you're in it for like one episode, but then you can do the like fucking £45 for an autograph on the convention scene for the next fucking 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you tripped over a Dalek in Doctor Who, you're fucking set. As long as you're happy to drive around convention centres, you're set.
Well, a perfect example of that. You know, the Weldstone Raider. You want some? I'll give it you.
Oh yeah.
He's got films saying that, and then I guarantee you can do it. Or that Hot Tour Girl got films saying so one time and went viral, like absolutely. But then that shows the stupidity of people as well. Who would actually truly? I've never understood the erection about getting a signed autograph from somebody else. I've never truly understood that. But
it's a weird thing. You know, but I think I do understand it to a regard where like you see, like once upon a time, very long time ago, I was in Glastonbury, the town, not the festival. And I was walking around the crystal shops. My ex-wife was really into like crystals. Kept one in her bra and all that, balancing her fucking chakras and all that shit. And we were just walking around, and I walked out of this crystal shop, and I looked around, and I went, Nicolas Cage.
That's a cool one, yeah.
And my ex-wife thought it was somebody I knew called Nicolas Cage, and it wasn't. It was fucking Nicolas Cage.
Imagine him being a nice guy.
And he was looking at houses. He was looking at properties, and he did buy one in the area. But he was really gracious, and he shook my hand. And I didn't want to bother him with it. But the fact that I didn't get like an autograph off him, because it's something you can take away. It's something substantial, isn't it? That when you meet someone that you admire, I never understand like people that buy autographs when they've never met the person.
Yeah, I don't get
that. That's fucking weird.
But even with the autograph things, I like, even like at a gig or something, I'll never film, video any of it because I like the memory being there. And if the memory doesn't last in there, then I'm not self-inflating the memory. I'm not making the memory something it wasn't. Yeah. I remember it raw and natural.
Well, the thing is, memory shit. Though. This is why we can't rely. This is why we can't rely on eyewitness testimony for it, because memory is shit, and we can actually implant false memories into ourselves. So maybe you remember the gig better than it was. But I'm with you absolutely. I genuinely believe that there should be an opportunity for people to take photos at a gig, just like go right first song, take your fucking photos, put your phone away.
Yeah, I will agree. I do love when you get like big on the comedy world that they don't allow cameras. I do approve of that because I do still believe the comedian owns the right to it, and flashing cameras on you whilst you're doing a set is fucking disengaging.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like it's the sort of thing as well as it's that it's finding that balance. You know, I've got like 85,000 followers on TikTok. I know that's not a massive amount, but like how much of my comedy do I put on my social media platform? You know,
yeah.
How much, like, I put a bit on there recently that I really liked, my ghost hunt consent thing, because that went down really well. So I've put that bit on there. But like, say, like, if 10 million people see that bit, it's either going to do one of two things. They've seen that bit, they don't want to come to your show, or they've seen that bit and they want to come to your show, because people, like in comedy, people wait for the bits that they know are coming after. Do you know what I mean? Like when you watch a big production Michael McIntyre set, like you wait for the familiar bits. It's like your favorite song. You know it's coming.
Chris Rock and Seinfeld always had this debate. Do you do your who's your favorite band?
My favorite band are just a random band called Dub War from South Wales. Do you know Skindred? Like Skindred.
No, okay. Skindred. Probably the most powerful. I mean, I like alternative rock, so I'm not that far from the mark, but I'm very far from the mark at the same time because I know, so let me just shit one out. Dragon Force. Yeah, I like Dragon Force. If I were to see them, would I want to go see their new material or their greatest hits? Same with a comedian. What are you going for?
Would it? Yeah, but this is it. See, like, say for instance, with a band like Dragon Force, right? I know one Dragon Force song, the same song that everyone knows.
Now do it from the point of your favorite band.
Yeah. But the thing is, I want to personally, I want to discover. You know, is whether because I can I'd love them to do the greatest hits. You know, I really would. But I like to discover stuff. As well, like discover new music. But there's always that whenever you go to a gig and someone goes, "This is a new song," and the crowd always goes, dials down by 30-40% while they're playing the new song, waiting for fucking Wonderwall to come on. You know what I mean? It's
now turn this into comedy. Turn it to basically, I want to go do it from a comedy perspective. If people come see you, do they want to hear your ghost joke, your greatest hits, or do they want to hear your new stuff?
It really depends, because I think with comedy, people want to laugh, and it's immediately accessible because you don't have to learn the words to it. It's like with your favorite song, you're going to wait for your favorite song because it's something you can pull out your brain. It's relatable. It's going to get the endorphins going. It's going to get the dopamine going because it's there, and it makes you feel a certain way. Whereas comedy, people come into a room and expect to be entertained without knowing the words to it. And that's, I think that's the most important thing, is that if there's something that's drawing people in and they want to hear that bit because they like that bit, and they have a connection to that bit, that's absolutely fine. But I think ultimately, if you went to see your favorite comedian and they did a different set every time, providing you got the value from that, which is the laugh, and the entertainment, I think that's what's important, as opposed to waiting for them to do your favorite bit.
I agree. I would like to probably say cut it in the middle. Like if I went to go see let's say Peter Kay, and he didn't do his dip me with the hobnob seat set.
Yeah.
I would still be like that, or like that's the bit I mostly remember him for. So I would like to see stuff I've never seen before, but then to finish off with a greatest hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing
Montana,
is,
best of both worlds.
Yeah, with comedy, and it took all of a sudden it sort of clicked into me that I was watching these talk shows, your Jonathan Rosses, your Graham Nortons, and things like that. And it took me a long time to realize that, especially with comedians in particular, they put their bits in the interview. Like we've done it during this, or like both of us have said, "Oh, I've got this bit," but they don't do it. Whereas Michael McIntyre will sit there with Graham Norton, and he will go, "Oh, when people are called Stuart," and you go, Stuart. Yeah. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and they will do the bits in the interviews that are promoting the tours. So it's no different to a band going on to Graham Norton and playing the track off their new album, because then you go to the gig, you already know that song, you heard it on Graham Norton. So it's exactly the same thing, and all comics do it. They all pull a bit out of their bits. To do. So it's kind of, that's how they're drawing people in, I suppose, because there's otherwise you don't have any access to them.
I mean, one job I do find, and I never post anything online. I never do now, because not saying that I'm good, but in my mind I am fantastic, and I would hate for someone to steal a bit because nobody knows it's my bit.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you went to a gig and someone did your ghost joke?
Yeah, I mean, it's horrendous, and I mean, it's even bad. It feels bad when it's unintentional. Like when you go to a new material night, and before you know it, somebody has done something that is similar to your new material. Right. Before they've even heard it, you're like, "Oh, I can't do my material now," because they've already heard it. So yeah, it's horrendous. But again, there's that paper trail now. There's that. If I've put it online, there's evidence that I wrote it. And in my position now, I don't have any means to enforce any sort of copyright or intellectual property copyright on stuff, but it's there. I got accused of stealing a bit recently, actually. It was a TikTok bit. It wasn't. I didn't even put it live. And somebody. It was basically about everyone is ugly 50% of the time. If you want to prove that, film yourself doing or saying anything, and then play it back and pause that video at any point, and it'll be like.
Yeah.
So everyone.
Oh, it's a bastard to get the thumbnail sometimes. That's why I just ask people for them now.
Yeah. So, and I put that online, but then somebody said this bit is stolen, and I was like, oh, if it is stolen, it's completely. If it's similar, it's and I said, then please, direct it to the original artist by all means, because if it is, I'll take it down and
That's good. Yeah.
And he said, yeah, and they went, oh, it's a Lee Evans sketch or a Lee Evans bit. But then after I thought, oh fuck, I think I remember that bit. Now that someone said it and said who it is, I think maybe I have pulled it from somewhere that was a memory as opposed from a creative perspective. Does this go out video? Does this go on YouTube or? Because I keep looking at the people are just going to see me looking away from the camera constantly.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Don't worry. But I think with joke. The problem is there's only so many subjects in the world. Like, imagine only one person can make a joke about a dating app. Everyone has a different way of targeting a thing. So whilst it could have been similar, it wasn't similar unless it was bang on word for word, and it was obvious the flow of it and all that, and it was so self-apparent that it was. Jokes are going to overlap with other comedians.
Yeah, of course they are. You get people like Robin Williams, who famously, his management would have a checkbook ready because he would hear other people's jokes and they would go into his brain. And he was apparently it was largely unintentionally, but if it was in the moment, he would just regurgitate that material because that's what his brain would pull out and he would fire it forward. And if he did, somebody would get a check for it. But he was famous for stealing other people's material, and he's one of the biggest comedians in the world.
I know it's equivalent in music. There's that I know is it Ed Sheeran got sued because he did a four rip. I know nothing about music. He stole it. So I was like, you can't own rips. There's only so many different variations.
Absolutely, and there's plagiarism, and then there's it's drawing the distinction between inspiration and plagiarism and unintentional similarity. Like Ed Sheeran does this whole bit himself where he goes on and he says, I can play you any song in the charts today with these three chords. G, C, and E major. It's those are the chords or whatever they. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you haven't, there's a wonderful bit, it's years old now, from a band called the Axis of Awesome, where they say
that. It's about to say them, the 4 chord bit. Yeah. I was literally just about to say they were fucking the Australian Aussie dudes, weren't they? But
Axis of Awesome, I think they were called, and that they go through this 5 minute where it's the same chord sequence the whole time. So suing people.
Stop Believing, Picture of You.
Yeah. It's all and you get people that are like Robin Thicke, got absolutely shredded by Marvin Gaye's estate over Blurred Lines. Because it was ridiculously similar. Like when you play them side by side, that's not an accident. But then funnily enough, I was watching a Father Ted compilation on YouTube the other day, and it was one where they're trying to do the Euro song, and Father Ted and Dougal are trying to write a song, and they wrote a song called My Lovely Horse. And they entirely plagiarize the song without realizing it. And then when they get to the competition, he hears it being played in the lift. Father said, here's him, and he's like, Dougal, we can't play it. You know what I mean? It's more similar than we thought it was. It's fucking absolutely brilliant. So
I'm writing a new bit right now because I'm an Arsenal fan, and I was watching Arsenal Man United yesterday, and we got a new player, and there's already a song for him, a chant, and I thought of, it's like somebody's thought of this song, and I can imagine hanging out hymn sheets to all the other fans, they're meeting up for choir practice. Right, skinheads, you're baritones. I'm really, you're this. Okay, all together, 3, 2, 1, go. Look, we need to get it ready for Sunday's football away game.
Funnily enough, there is, and it's not, it's along the same lines as what you're doing, but not, it was, what was his name that did Dennis Pennis? Paul Kay?
Okay.
Paul Kay. And he did, on one of his videos, he was a guy and he played a composer of football chants. Right. And he was like very posh. So he was like, and he was like had the piano and he was like, "You're going to get your fucking head kicked in." Like, it's like absolutely wonderful bit. Like, just reminded me of, similar to what you're saying there about getting everyone prepped for the, so it's easy. Like, oh man, the shit you can do with that'd be amazing. There's the WhatsApp group. There's the, the Gunners WhatsApp group that have got like 100,000 people in it where they're sharing lyrics.
Yeah. Like, Barry, you came in the chorus a little bit quick last time.
Yeah.
No, we were. I just came to it. I thought that was that's a brilliant bit I need to work on.
Imagine imagine it like there's no game on, but everyone's at the stadium on the Friday before it, like 30,000 people, and then a guy in the middle of the pitch going, "No, stop, Steve, put the pie down." Do you know what I mean? That's fucking brilliant.
James, we said we were going to wear the home kits today, not the away kits.
Yeah. Dress rehearsal, James. Dress rehearsal.
Oh, there's definitely a nugget there that I need to pick at.
Mate, work seriously. Develop that, because it'd be fucking, if I've said anything that you like, it's yours to have. You can have it. You're welcome.
Do you know what? I do get a lot of gratitude from that, because I've got like a lot of mates in comedy, and I do think of black jokes. I do think of Muslim jokes. I think of women jokes. I will never do them justice on stage, because I haven't got the persona. Yeah. So I send them, I send the Muslim jokes to my Muslim mate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just thought of this, and he knows it's not coming from a place of hate. He knows it's because I thought it was funny, and he's like, mate, go, like, try and do something with this.
Yeah,
and I love that feeling as well.
It's a weird, like, sometimes you think, oh, am I overstepping? Not subject matter, because obviously if you've got a pre-existing relationship with your mate, and you know what I mean, that you're not sending him, offensive jokes. You're not sending him sort of head wobbling corner shop jokes. You know what I mean? You're funny, you're comedians. It's collaborative. But I had a moment the other day where Ignacio Lopez. I don't know Ig particularly well, and he's doing really well. He's worked immensely hard to get where he is, and he lives very, very close to me. And he put on his Facebook, "Can anyone give me a lift between a couple of gigs this weekend, because I've booked 2 gigs that are close together." So I had to drive him down to North Wales for one, and then drive back for another one to do locally at a festival. And in the car, then I was like sort of shooting things at him, because he was going to it was a wellness event, and I was like, "Oh, you should say that you were running late because you had to stop to get your chakras aligned 5 times on the way here." But then I had this real moment of like, "Oh my god, I'm telling a professional comedian." You know what I mean? How to tell a joke. And I went, "I'm sorry, Ig. I literally, you've been doing this for 15 years professionally." And I'm giving you a lift to a festival and trying to give you ideas. Like, so I felt a bit weird in that instance, because he's worked so hard, and I'm just a grunt.
I'm sure like people would, even if say like, if I ever got to that level, I would still appreciate people giving ideas, because it shows the passion. I don't think anyone should ever be disheartened by showing their passion.
Yeah, and every idea, every concept. Just going back to how a writing process. I find it very funny when people like take a word or a phrase literally in another definition of that word. And I do it all the time when I'm on my TikTok. I used to do this bit on TikTok like called Shit Tarot, where I've got a tarot deck. I don't do tarot. I don't believe in tarot, but I would pull cards for people and make something up based on that card. And I would take things very, very literally. I can't think of an example right now.
You're dead.
Was going. Hey? What's that? Oh, you're dead. Yeah, the death card. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The death card is always like, oh, it's not death, is it? It means rebirth or something shit like that. I can't remember what my point was going to be, but it was.
I know you're going to find love. What's next? Envy card. Oh, you're jealous. What's next? Oh, now.
Yeah.
The shittest tarot card reader ever.
Oh no, my tarot deck's wonderful though, because a lot of the cards are it's movie star tarot. So there's like Samuel L. Jackson on the card and Keanu Reeves. And so I have this entire wealth. Oh, that was what my point was going to be. Sorry, I'm talking to you on the fucking screen again, not on my phone.
Okay.
I need to put next time I do this, I need to put my computer behind my camera. Yeah, my point being that, like, going back to the writing process, is sometimes I'll do like a very old fashioned sort of brainstorm where you put a word in the middle and then you just tie off, spur off with every sort of thing you could do with that word. So I've got a bit now that I do about the Celine Dion song, All Coming Back to Me Now, and the lyrics to that. And one of the first lyrics, there were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. So I've written down, like, gold. What connotations can the word gold have outside of it being a precious metal? You know what I mean? And I've gone to, like, I've settled on it being poppers, because there's always bottles of poppers that were called gold, liquid gold or something like that.
I'm fortunate enough to know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I've settled on poppers, but I also went to, like, Tony Hadley from Spandau Ballet, because they've got a song called Gold. So in the song, is she taking poppers or is she having sex with Tony Hadley? Because there were moments of gold, and it's that sort of that's like a part of the writing process. Is that sometimes I will, like, right, I need to do something a bit off of the curve, like,
I've got one poppers bit that I don't use anymore. There was a woman about 4 or 5 years ago. She got arrested in Saudi Arabia for selling poppers, which is weird because there's not one gay person in Saudi Arabia.
I like that.
Yeah, like, it was weird, that, isn't it? Like, a population of 0% gay people, but she was selling poppers. Like, you can take that. Love, like, I've retired that. Like, so I couldn't do it. How
did you sell any?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did she sell any?
Yeah, no, she did. Like, she got caught, like, smuggling them in, and, like, I think she's got, like, like, don't fuck about prison sentence.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a country that's so proud of having a 0% gay nation. I think you do, mate.
I think you do. The poppers sales would indicate something entirely different.
And also, during the Muslim world, it's common for two men to show their friendship by holding hands walking down the road. That's pretty gay to me.
Yeah, that's pretty gay.
That's pretty gay, that.
The thing is that culturally, in it, you know what I mean? Like, one man's gay is another man's friendship, and there's nothing gayer than in a straight drunk rugby team. I mean, there's nothing gayer in this world than a straight drunk rugby team. The amount of things that have been in my brother's ass on a rugby tour who claims to be straight is it's ridiculous.
When I was at uni, I joined the American football team, not the rugby team, because I've always said, like, look, I will drink anything and anything as long as it's alcoholic. The second it contains a bodily fluid, I ain't interested. And it was all rugby guys, like, pissing in each other's cups, trying to drink it, lad. It's gay. Yeah. Like, that's not even gay. That's not normal. I mean, that's weird. Like, like, oh, I'm going to spit in this guy's mouth. That's funny. No, it's not. It's just, it's not normal. Like,
in certain circumstances, it's a bit sexy, but not in this one.
Yeah. Not when it's 20 Stone Tony, who's like, I don't know, like, yeah. Anyways, we got to run it to the end here because this has been my longest one, but I've loved this. I will end it with, from your perspective, from someone in your shoes, giving advice to, say, yourself from 3 years ago. What advice would you give to yourself if you've never done comedy before, you wanted to do it, but you're nervous about getting on the stage? When you can't say just do it.
Can't say just what? Okay, so your nerves are lying to you. Your anxiety is lying to you. You can do it. It's going to be fine. The worst that can happen is that you try it and you don't like it. But with foresight, it's an absolute must. And like anything in my life, I know that me from 3 years ago would have been crippled with anxiety. And then when they did do comedy, it was in a period there was like an eye in the storm of anxiety, and it was grabbed it in the moment. So yeah, my advice would basically be don't listen to your anxiety. Do it. And my advice to anyone would be, don't listen to your anxiety. It's a wonderful medium. It's an enriching, and it helps you. It can help you get a thicker skin as well, because on those days that it doesn't go quite to plan, you still did it. And life is about often doing things, even if you don't want to do them. And but ultimately, I'm not allowed to say just do it, because I'm not sponsored by Nike. But
that's what I'm saying. Do it just.
Yeah, do it just. Do it like Yoda.
Do it just, Will.
Yeah.
That's why I've never done impressions, and there's a reason why. They always end up going back to Indian, no matter what accent I do.
My daughter does, right? So my kids are very Welshy. I'm not from Wales originally. I'm from Bristol. I'm from the West Country, which is why I sound like I'm in hot fuzz a lot of the time.
A new hamster.
Yeah, but my daughter is very, very Welshy. But if you ask her to do a Welsh accent, she goes entirely Indian, which is weird because she's doing her own accent. But it's an enigma why she does it. You go, right, do a Welsh accent, and I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to be casually racist. But she sounds like Apu from The Simpsons when she tries to do a Welsh accent, but she's actually Welsh, which is weird.
Manny, man, it's been fucking awesome having you on, brother. I really appreciate this one.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been great. It's been great. Thanks for chatting shit. I hope it gets some numbers for you. And I hope,
100%.
Hopefully I shall speak to you very soon, and I haven't made such an impression that you don't want me on anything else. So
no, I've completely fallen in love with you even more. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's going to look awkward to people. They're going to be like, "What the fuck is that person looking at off camera?" It's my dog's licking his ass. That's what I keep looking at. It's
Miles. Cheers. Thank you, guys. Cheers for watching. Bye.
All the best, everyone.